Are you crazy? Yo, it's myself, 100 Eyes, and we are live on the Powers for Breakfast show with the Triller Talent Mafio.
Yeah.
And we are here with the man of the moment himself, Mr. Leon Flames. Are you crazy? Yo, big up Leon Flames, my
Welcome,
brother.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Not as much sleep as I would have liked, but we get the show on the road regardless.
Speaking of sleep,
I can vouch for that one.
yeah, man. How's your journey?
My journey here,
Yeah, man.
it was kind of easy. Half an hour away,
Yeah.
live in the city.
So talk to me, brother. You grew up in South London.
South London, Thornton Heath.
Your whole life?
Exact. Yeah, most of my life. I think from a baby, it was South Norwood for like a couple months. And then from there, my mother and my father, they moved to Thornton Heath. So I've been there most of my life, literally.
Oh, so did you go to school around that area?
I did. I went to a school called Winterbourne, which is like the heart of Thornton Heath. Like most people from the 80s, for sure. Like you went to Winterbourne if you were somebody at that time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Winterbourne.
It's one of those staple schools on that town.
Yeah, it's kind of strange though because you start the school from like receptions, boys and girls are together,
Okay.
and then when you go into junior school, they separate the boys and the girls within the same school.
Okay.
That's different.
So then in the playground now there was like a line
No way.
where boys is on one side and girls on the other side.
It's a mosque.
But what that does is it creates tension between boys and girls.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? We couldn't wait to get out of there. Yeah,
I bet.
trust me. But big up my Winterbourne Foundation. Look.
Don't cross that line.
Yeah, cross that line, get detention and stuff like that. Mad.
So let me ask a question, because if you grew up in Thornton Heath for a long time, what was Croydon like when you was growing up? Was it what it's like now?
No.
Please explain to us.
So Thornton Heath is a small town in the borough of Croydon.
Okay.
But Croydon is like the larger area, you know. And Croydon, to most neighbouring areas, was regarded as like a soft area back then, I would say.
Okay.
So the guys from Brixton and the neighbouring areas like Streatham, they would think Croydon was a bit soft, you know. And I think that's just because of the dynamics. It was like a multicultural area. There wasn't no big, massive estates like you're going to get in Lambeth. It was more like kids coming out of their houses and whatnot, you know.
Croydon was safe zone, basically, yeah?
Yeah, it was kind of safe. I can't lie. I mean, obviously you had badness going on.
Yeah.
But back in the day before social media, you knew who the bad people were.
Uh-huh.
That's the difference. Now everybody's bad.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You knew people by name because you couldn't see them. And then one time you be somewhere and then someone will point out, well, that's such and such.
Oh, danger man's around.
This is it. You know?
And then those times there, what the kids looked up to? Was it more sports people? Was it musicians?
I would say sports. I mean, when I was in school, there was like a handful of us that knew about hip hop.
Yeah.
Because back then you had like M People and all this like Lighthouse Family and Oasis and Spice Girls and all these other things. So
They weren't tapped in yet.
no, you know, I think I was one of the first people in school that even knew who Nas was.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't really like
Winterbourne?
that. Winterbourne. I mean, I was in what's it called, Stanley Tech, as a secondary school after that.
Okay.
And I mean, that's a school where I don't know if you're privy to Young Meth.
Young
The
Meth,
rapper,
yeah.
So I was there with him for a time. He was in the year below me,
Okay.
and obviously Stormzy went there later on. So
Okay.
that's another staple school. But that was a boys' school, so I left the boys' school technically to go to another boys' school. So that didn't help.
Okay.
But yeah,
No, I went to a boys' school, man.
Yeah?
Man, kept me focused, man. But we had a girls' school, like, down the road, didn't it? So we used to see each other after school anyway. So
I think there was Westwood girls down the road. So yeah, that gave us something to look at as young boys. Yeah.
in your household, is it more of a spirituality thing or is it a religious thing in your household?
So my mother used to send me and my sister. I've got one biological sister. She used to send us to church. I don't know what her reasoning was really, because she didn't go herself, but she would make sure that we went to church, you know. But I think when I got to a certain age, like maybe 12, I started thinking for myself, and I realised that it wasn't resonating with me. I didn't really understand what was going on in the Bible, and a lot of it.
How'd you break that? How'd you break that to her?
I didn't. I just said to her, I'm not going anymore. It's not for me, you know. And she kind of let me do what I was doing. I was like a free spirit, and I just left there. And that was the end of that, because I started reading more books, started getting into more things. My mum was always busy because she's a foster carer and that. And she's been a foster carer since I was 8.
Yeah, big up your mum.
Big up mum.
Big up mum.
All day long. She's an amazing woman.
So did the foster family live in the household with you as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like literally.
Foster kids, sorry.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of people.
Damn, homie.
Yeah.
But that must have molded your people skills, though, even early on as a child.
Definitely. I
Or
mean,
did it make you more anti? How did it?
At first it was hard because, I mean,
My mum.
because I knew my mum needed the job at the time, and you know, that was her thing. I decided that I would play along when I was being interviewed, because I had to be interviewed myself as a kid, like for her to get the job. Because if your children weren't right for it, then you couldn't really get the job, kind of thing. So they would ask questions like, if children broke your toys, what would you do, and all this kind of thing. And I would just be saying, well, I'll just replace the toys and talk to them and be understanding. And obviously when it actually happens, it's Smoke City. Smoke City. But it's a beautiful profession, because a lot of those children, like, I'm still connected to now.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
You know what I mean? And my mum's on her 30th year now.
Oh, big. Where the air horns?
Yeah.
Where the air horns?
Slap that.
Are you crazy?
Trust me.
Yo, big up mum.
She's on her 30th year and she's still going strong.
Okay. In the same house?
No, the second house since then. Yeah.
What was the most people in your household at the time? What your mum was fostering?
I think, including me and my sister, I think there was 12 kids in there at one time.
Wow.
On her
Damn.
ones.
Yeah, just mumsy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That dinner pot must be massive.
Trust me.
Yo.
She's like the most, well, apart from my wife, she's like the most selfless person I know. Like, literally. You know what I'm saying?
Big up yourself. Big up.
Selfless, like, help anybody.
What country you from?
So my mum's from Barbados, dad's from Jamaica. But, you know, sometimes you go and you go where mum goes, innit? So for me, you know, Barbados is always what I scream.
That's hometown.
You know, I always say this, yeah. When you check the slave routes, a lot of Bajans are from my country.
Okay.
That's Sierra Leone.
Right, I mean, that brings me on to saying that it's Barbados by way of Africa, because obviously that's where we're coming from.
Y'all don't look like you could be cousins. Looking at your shade of skin, you,
You
look like
never
could be
know.
cousins.
You never know.
Ours.
You know? But it's always by way of,
Yeah.
I would say, because we need to get more familiar with saying that,
Yeah, man.
I think.
Yeah, man.
Because we're all connected at the end of the day.
Definitely.
You know,
100%.
the divide, that time has to stop. Like when I was in school, you know, a lot of the African kids would get teased and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is why I love that they're on top now and they're showing the world what they've got.
Well done.
You
It
know?
was that, innit? Africans versus Caribbean.
Yeah, it was
it
cool
was.
to be Jamaican in school.
was,
Yeah.
I had African friends that used to say they were Jamaican.
Yeah.
I think a couple of people did that.
Do you know what I mean? But
I was guilty still.
But in hindsight, I can't blame them, though.
Yeah.
Because it was popular to do that, and a lot of us were misinformed back in the day.
Definitely misinformed.
We didn't know what was going on. Like, we had different ideals. Like, the dolls were all white. On TV, everything was white. There wasn't no black anything, and no black owned nothing either. So we had to follow what the trends were.
And then once Africans got not accepted, but some way in the social club, they
Right.
became specific African. Now Somalians look away. Now these people look away. Like, it's just
This
learned
is it,
behaviour
which is
passed on.
why I don't blame, like, a lot of the Africans now, when sometimes they won't necessarily give the light to the Caribbean kids, because they're fed up of that.
Yeah,
and it's their time now, and rightly so.
So even going up through your childhood, I mean, it seems like you were in a busy household. Did it, like, do you remember feeling like maybe, like, not so focused on, as your mums had to kind of share their attention across the kids when you're going to school as well?
Right.
How people treated you? How was that feeling?
That's a very good question. So yeah, her time was divided. So imagine having 12 kids and having to see to all of them.
And sorry, not to cut you, and also you know that that's your mum. So was there like
Mm-hmm.
entitlement on yourself?
I wouldn't say so, because she made it very abundantly clear that me and my sister were like her biological children, and she would make sure, you know, we'll go on separate holidays sometimes, and she'll make sure she nurtured us in that way, you know, and we'd always have a quiet time at certain points if other children were going out to see their families or had days out with social workers and whatnot. Then she'll make sure that was our time.
You had one-on-one time.
Yeah.
That's dope.
You know,
It's an experience, though.
definitely.
Definitely.
That grew me up. I can't lie. Yeah, it grew me up early. So my ability to overstand people and where they're coming from is a lot wider than maybe some other people's might be for that reason.
You're dealing with depths of troubled people as
Yeah.
well, innit? Like you won't normally deal with.
No.
That's crazy.
That just trickles into every other part of life, though, when it comes to understanding.
Would you foster kids, children?
Um,
Now you've seen your mum do it.
I would say if financially it was that, then maybe. Like, if I was successful in that kind of sense where there was an abundance of money, I guess I would do that. Because a lot goes into it.
Yeah.
And things have changed within that industry now. They want foster carers to do a lot more. It almost sometimes feels like they want them to work for free. That's how I personally feel. But at the same time, it's a job where you have to separate the finances from it, though.
Yeah.
Because your job is based on caring for people.
Yeah. With all care work, it's like that, though. Really.
This is it, you know. So initially, you do have to have a natural care for people before you even decide to take on that role. Because it's not just about the money. But at the same time, you've got to live. And why shouldn't you be rewarded for the hard work that you put into the community?
So you're a musician, right?
Right.
You've been doing music for a while.
For a while.
How long are we talking, man?
We're talking forever. Infinitely.
I like that.
You know, music isn't something that I would say is, you know, it's not. I don't do it because I just want to do it and make some money. I do it because it's what I love to do and it's in me.
So it's a passion, huh?
Yeah.
So how long are we talking? How many years?
Literally,
On the belt?
like,
What's the earliest memory of you
Alright,
starting
so-
music?
the first time, let's put it into perspective. The first time I went to the studio was actually in 99. Okay, so
9. Damn.
yeah, I had some.
Some of these kids now won't even exist.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I had a friend who was older than me at the time, and well, he's obviously still older than me, but yeah, he was older than me, and he was already going to the studio, and I already liked music. His name's Gerald, by the way, and I loved music. So one day when he was going to the studio with some other guys, I said, I'd love to come along. Do you know what I mean? So just went along. I knew how to rap already because I was already writing bars,
Okay.
just secretly on my own in my room and whatnot.
Rap, not grime.
Nah, rap. It's always been rap.
Where was that
Always.
influence from then? Who was your first artist you remember liking?
Let me see. It's deep because I don't know if you're privy to The Box. There used to be something called The Box. So me and my sister used to watch The Box all the time, and you had there was like two
What, the
live,
channel?
Yeah.
there was like two live crew on there. There was
Two live crew,
Sir Mix-a-Lot, Heavy D.
So it was US artists then that first captured you, yeah?
Heavily, 100%. I was listening to a lot of English musicians, but they weren't necessarily rappers. But what I will say is, so guys like Skinny Man and Scheme and certain guys like that, obviously I knew of them. And Rodney P, Rodney
They were like the
P's
first hip hop rap
over
rappers.
here,
Okay,
yeah. But it's just that unfortunately for them, they was ahead of their time.
Facts.
And a lot of people didn't really love the English accent at the time.
Well, so are you though in your music. I think yeah, it was a different time. 100%.
Yeah, you know, and it's like no one liked the English accent at the time. No one wanted to sound like where we come from.
Yeah.
You know.
So the US twang came in.
It did, but what I always try to show people, I mean, I even fell victim to it in the early stages.
A lot of us,
I fell victim to it, but at a time, you had guys like Mike GOC and whatnot that was heavily English in how they sounded, and that kind of influenced a lot of people to just be themselves in certain ways. But back then, it was very, very, very different. Like, everyone was rapping American. Literally everybody was rapping American.
Yeah.
And
when I was in AF, the kids they were rapping in American.
this is the thing, you know.
It just shows you, innit?
It's like what I was saying earlier about the African kids back then wanting to be Jamaican at the time.
Yeah.
Whatever's popular at the time is going to make you more accepted. That's what you're going to go towards. But it's about time that we abolish all of that rubbish and just be who we are. But I was heavily influenced by American music.
Was that your first lyrics you were writing, more like rap, yeah?
Always, yeah.
So did you ever cross into grime? I say that because obviously UK started flagging that heavy.
I think for me, the reason why I was already into Wu-Tang and all this kind of stuff. And then when you got friends wanting to go raving to like listen to garage and grime, I wasn't really on it.
Okay.
I'll be like, you come and link me and bring the drink or whatever to me, and we'll chill and we'll write rap music.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't much outlets for people that like rap music back in the day.
It was a grime thing in the UK.
When it came in, it was a grime thing, but there was a lot of people who were like, it's either you like it or you don't,
Yeah.
or you kind of fit the energy or you don't type of
I
thing.
had issues with it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep it all the way trill since I'm on Powers. I'm gonna keep it trill. So a lot of the grime artists, the rhymes were very nursery rhymish to me. If I'm keeping it all the way 100.
Tech 9
One
with the Tech
line.
9.
Yeah, and
You
you have like 4 bars, 8 bars, and then they'll repeat it again.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the verse.
But it was early stages, innit? That's what it was.
It was early stages, but at that point, I was already writing what felt like sermons.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
You know, I was writing some deep things with a lot of dexterity at that point already.
Yeah.
You know, because in Thornton Heath, there used to be a place called the Nawabian Centre.
Okay.
Right? So when we talk about like spirituality and all that kind of stuff, that was like one of my first introductions to that.
Is it still there?
Nah, because I think, you know, the leader, Malachi, he had a lot of charges and he was incriminated with a lot of things, you know.
Malachi like Z York.
Yeah.
York, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
Art.
You know, so he was like the leader of that group of people there. So what happened was, it was a very strong following and it was very esoteric and a lot about black empowerment and knowing your true inner self and taking you away from Christianity, I would say.
We
And
need
really
more
going to really getting in deep into things. Like
yeah.
a lot of the things they used to tell me there is happening now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were very informed, but the problem is it disbanded when Malachi was on charges of like child stuff and
Yeah.
and that was a techie one for me because
Yeah,
it was
so
like,
those charges,
do I just believe what they're saying to me when we know the media lie, or do I think for myself?
So what's your thoughts?
It's a hard one because if there are victims out there, I don't want to be, you know, putting those victims down.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, we know that they come for our leaders when they get on top.
It's hard. It's hard.
So it could be either way. But what I say is that I take, in anything I'm doing or anything I'm learning, I'll take the good parts out of that that are necessary to me and that what I believe in, and the rest of it that's rubbish, I'll leave it alone.
That's a fair point. So, Leon Flames, Mr. aka Hazardous Hell.
That name is the name I heard in a
Yeah,
long
we're going there. We're going there.
Was your name
Let's
Leon
go
Flames back then, or?
No.
Here we go.
It's Hazardous Hell.
Hazardous Hell.
Damn, homie.
Like I said, like I was heavily
Hazardous
influenced by
Hell,
Wu-Tang, and they had mad names like Hellraiser and Inspector Shaheem and Inspector Deck and Ghostface and Raekwon and all that.
Hazardous Hell, yeah.
Yeah, and I
Shanks
was
up.
a lot darker back then. I think as a youth.
In the mind, yeah?
Yeah, and I think a lot of youth are dark in there. They have a phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a lot darker, and I was just fire and chaos and bars and punchlines and
Was that before you started going to the centre?
That was after I started going to the centre, but I incorporated a lot of what I learned at the centre into that music. It was dark, but it was dark and it was aggressive, but there was always knowledge in and around it though, because I always felt from young that I had a responsibility that if I'm going to speak and have this privilege of being able to use lyrics for people to hear, then I have to at least involve some type of knowledge in there. Otherwise, what am I actually saying?
Facts.
You know?
Definitely.
Was you How long was you at the centre for, sorry? How many years?
Maybe like 3 years.
3 years. Was your sister going with you?
Nah. See, me and my sister, we was in different directions. Like, she's a couple years older than me, and she was into the garage and all that kind of stuff, and doing what girls do and whatnot. And we talk a lot and we speak a lot, and we're very close, but our journeys were different. Yeah.
I see.
So around those times, in your teen years, how did you navigate through? You were still living in Thornton Heath, right?
Yeah.
So how did you navigate through the culture of the area, even like the type of people there, your peers, and how did you then navigate that with music, or just how you were growing up?
That's another great question. So I'm what I would call an anomaly. So most of the people I knew, they were selling what they were selling, robbing, out there doing whatever, you name it. No curfews and everything under the sun. Whereas I always had the respect, like I was saying, I have for my mum now. I was trying to fathom the police coming to my mum's door and her sitting there and looking at me and being disappointed. And I was like, nah, I can't actually do that to her. Do you know what I mean? So I was always in and around madness.
Yeah.
I might even have been in the same room as all these things going on in the same places.
Yeah.
But I always knew when it was time to go home.
Yeah.
Dope.
I knew when it was time to go home. And because I wasn't a pushover as well, if you're strong within yourself and you know your character, people, no matter who they are, can't come and badge you up and tell you that you have to do this and you have to be like that. Like, any bad man I knew from back in the day, they'll let you know. I was me all the way through. Didn't change for nothing. But at the same time, I'd fight you, though.
Sorry, was your father involved with fostering the kids as well?
No. So my dad, he left the household when I was 7 years old. Yeah, he wasn't really, me and him don't really have the greatest relationship. I can get into that because I keep it short.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, we didn't have the greatest relationship, but he was about, though.
Okay.
He was around, and I would remember seeing him on like Christmas and birthdays and whatnot. But
I see.
because I'm a father now myself,
Okay.
and I know what it actually takes to be a real father,
Yeah.
I didn't regard him as a real one.
Okay.
So yeah, that fizzled out.
Okay, let's go back to the music then, my bro. What is real music? What is that?
Well, real music.
Yeah, what's real music? What's it in your words?
So it's like a culmination of different sounds. So you're talking like I'm heavily influenced by 70s music, so Marvin Gaye and
Jesus.
and all of that, you know, and even further than that, your Esther Phillips and certain names that people don't even know about too much.
That was in your household while you was growing
Oh
up?
yeah, my mum was always playing that stuff while she was cleaning the house or looking after the children. I think it used to calm her down a bit and let her relax a bit. So I always loved the soulful music, which is why sometimes in the beats that producers create for me, you'll hear sometimes a lot of soulful things in there if it's like a boom bap beat. But yeah,
Black Girls got that
yeah, you know.
at the start, yeah.
So even if the tune's a hard song, sometimes I would like to have a bit of soul in there,
Respect that.
you know.
Important.
So what else? Say that again. Repeat what you said to me.
What was real music and how you
Yeah. So sorry about that, King.
That's right.
So real music is basically, so I have a logo and it's like a pyramid,
Yeah.
and the pyramid's upside down and it's got a king and a queen sitting on the pyramid.
Who made the logo? You?
I designed it and I had someone do it digitally for me,
Why did you turn the pyramid upside down?
because where you have your Masons and your Illuminati and the people that are against us, basically, they've got the capstone which is at the top of the pyramid, and that's where they reign supreme. So what I did was I turned it round
Toppled it.
so it can be on the ground with the real people and the people that are actually out here trying to make a difference, and the rebels. It's rebel music. But what I try to tell people is, just because you're making conscious music heavily and it's mainly conscious, it doesn't have to be boring though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
But that's what we got Control.
This is it. And
You
I
feel me?
understood that. It's like my guy Red Pill Trill has got dirty woke.
Yeah.
I understand all of that stuff there. You know, because it doesn't mean that you're perfect and that there's no dirt on you to be a conscious person. It just means you're awake. You know what's going on and that you strive to be better though.
You see, even with that, right? A few people have mentioned that, and it's like, I've said it before, where I feel the moniker conscious music has got such a stigma to it. A lot of people kind of shy away from it, where they think it's preachy music, right?
Yeah.
So now, guys like yourselves who come now and just being real, you call it real rap, whatever, but there's not a genre for it. So people are kind of adding their own little tailor, like customization.
They don't want to be boxed into conscious.
You see what I'm saying? Whereas if you rap, but it's like,
I think it's because of our experiences as well.
yeah.
It's not, we didn't grow up in a church household to come out and talk like that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
We've all been through dirty stuff.
This is it.
And you're relating it, but you turn it into positive.
Exactly, and there's many sides to everything. There's different realms to everything.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? You wake up one morning and you're angry, and when I'm angry, my music's gonna sound aggressive sometimes. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna go out there and kill somebody or talk about writing bars that are gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
But it just means that sometimes you're angry. It could be anything.
Yeah.
You're right. There's 6 sides to a dice, isn't it? So how can they expect a human to just be one hurt?
This is the thing.
Yeah.
Who's involved in real music?
Yeah.
I am real music.
Jesus.
I am real music. But what I will say is, I have some supporters that are very dear to me.
Okay.
And I think without those supporters, I wouldn't be exactly what I am. Do you know what I mean?
You want to give them a shout out?
Of course. Like one of them, my wife, she's sitting right here looking beautiful as usual.
Yes.
You know, and if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have the time to even move around my son and then go and do music and do certain things I need to do and take care of my responsibilities as a man. So you need a strong queen to be able to do that.
To hold it down.
And she's even been on certain tunes of mine as well. Bangers.
Her face is familiar still.
Oh yeah. And Uja Seneb. You know, she's sick, man. And I've got man like Banner from Wailing.
Hey,
you know, that's
they got Banner.
That's my guy.
Banner Dan.
Yeah.
I see him supporting your thing.
Martial arts.
We've been friends for like brothers actually for a while, you know. And he's got his Wailing, and he does his martial arts.
Mad.
You know, and he supports me. If I have a video or anything, he's there.
That's a good brother.
Yeah,
genuine.
This is
very
it.
Genuine.
You know, and then you got man like Todd's.
Okay.
You know, from SMFY.
Shout out Todd's.
And Nay from there as well.
Okay.
And then you got Red Pill Trill. You know, so actually, me, Red Pill Trill, and Todd's, we've actually got a group with some work coming.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, it's called AOD, Alliance of Defiance.
Okay.
And it's literally we're just going mad.
When you dropping it?
We're working on it.
It's in the lab, yeah?
It's in the lab at the moment.
Mad.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
Alliance over Defiance.
Alliance of Defiance.
Alliance of Defiance.
We got a freestyle coming out soon. Should be next month, I think. Some point next month.
Guys working, man.
Freestyle, just something to just let them know what's coming.
I see Banner and SMFY in your video.
Oh yeah. Listen, these are real people that just when we say real recognizes real, we actually really do mean it though. You know, like we're all like people don't remember that we're actually souls though.
Yeah.
The flesh is just the vehicle that we're traveling in while we're here, but we're souls.
Yes.
So when I meet people, I recognize their spirit first before do you know what I mean? So I'm able to read people's spirits. I know what's got a good energy and what hasn't, and those are just real brothers that, you know, we can just connected.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
What's your outlook with Realm Music then? Are you trying to make that a label, or what's even your outlook for yourself moving forward on a solo project?
Realm Music. Well, I've got the second installment of the first one coming out.
Okay. Well, that mixtape or EP?
I called it an album.
Okay.
And the reason I called it an album is because people are scared to call things albums these days.
Yep.
Because they feel like their first one has to be groundbreaking and change their life and make people know this is my first album, even though they've been spitting for like 10 years.
Yeah. It's the way albums are presented.
This
so
is
that's
it.
What it is, though. Yeah.
You know, but
everyone follows the formula.
Yeah, but I mean they were all on original beats anyway. I don't rap on covers. You know, you can't find a producer that can tell you I've rapped on a beat and they ain't been paid for it.
That's dope.
That's good.
If you can find one, I'll give him £100 right now.
I'm gonna have to look then. Let me look.
And you know what? That's dope because just from you speaking now, I can tell you've got some sort of experience and conduct for yourself. So when you're saying that, you know how important it is to have that.
Oh yeah,
that
like
network
I've been
and-
jerked before. We've all been jerked. Like you have people coming to sell you dreams and all sorts of nonsense, and that's why it's good to be independent. Because you know, I've had guys come up to me before and really want to push the music. They've had change and they want to invest, and then you do the music and they don't even know what to do with it. And you've put all your time and effort into it. It's like, at least go hard. You can't expect me, if at least meet me halfway if we're going to be doing this.
How long you been independent though?
Do you know what, to be honest with you, I would say I've been independent since maybe 2015.
And why did you go down that route?
Because when you're working with other people and they call themselves a label and they don't deliver and they don't tell you the truth about what you're getting into, and they want you to sign stuff even before there's money involved, then what are we really doing? If you really believe in the music, you're gonna do what you have to do to make that ship sell.
Yeah.
So when you do it independently, like for instance a Nipsey Hussle, then you're in control of whatever you're doing. You don't have to listen to anybody. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you when things are being released. You just drop it. You can talk about what you want to talk about. The things that I talk about, you couldn't talk about all of those things as a signed artist, which is why they're out there just rapping about madness all day long.
Yeah.
When you listen to a lot of artists, they all sound the same.
Yeah, man.
Not all of them, but most. Mainstream wise,
Definitely.
it sound the same.
When gigs come out, everyone rap like gigs at that time.
Yeah.
J Huss come out, everyone does Afrobeat.
Heavy One come out, everyone's doing this
That's
mumble
it.
rap now.
We all follow
Yeah.
the leader.
Yeah.
Whoever's been given the crown at that time, we follow that.
I like that. Giving the crown.
This is
Who
it.
gave them the crown? The people didn't give it to them.
No, and this is the thing. When you look at the people that run the industry and run the labels, when you find them all on LinkedIn, and I chat to them sometimes in the past and whatnot. When you see these people, none of them look like us, none of them sound like us, none of them know what we are, but they're just following the numbers, the streams, the
money.
popularity, all of it, the money, all of it.
Exploiting, ain't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These
yeah,
culture
yeah.
vultures. There's a lot of culture vultures out here. Not everybody, but
Not
there are a lot of
everybody, man.
culture vultures. Their best interest is not the artist. It's about financial gain, and therefore it doesn't matter what message they're pushing.
You're right.
If you only care about the money, like if we're gonna go into the drill artists now, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of drill artists that are very, very talented. You know, I like some of the music, but the message.
Talking crap.
The
man.
message is terrible.
Talking
I'm
crap,
not gonna lie, the message is terrible. Like, if you're gonna do it, at least sometimes make it. Put a bit of art in it, though. I'm not saying disguise it fully, but at least make us think. If you're just gonna go and say I'm gonna ching him and stab him and do that, then what are you really saying? And you might as well be acting in a movie and go and do that.
Facts.
I didn't put on headphones to listen to that.
Yeah.
But there are some talented drill artists that I will listen to because they take it that extra mile. But overall, though, the message isn't right for us, and I think a lot of people are scared to say that the message isn't right for us. The difference between what happened back in the day to what happens now is, back in the day, people weren't dropping 100% like how they're dropping now, because the music is in there. The knives, the killing, people are mentioning actual names of people they've killed in the music.
So does the music influence the crime?
I'm going to say yes. A lot of people wouldn't agree with me, but I'm going to say yes, it does. Of course. When we had like Marvin Gaye and certain tunes that were soulful and talked about love and stuff, as well as the badness, there was a balance, and therefore the vibration of the people was steady.
Right.
Once you remove all the goodness completely and only sit there with the badness, then everyone's on demon time.
Yep.
Even the children that were raised well want to be demon time.
Yep. Yep.
And they don't even know what they're talking about.
No, you're right.
It's
you're
true.
Right, you're right. But
Like, go on.
One thing about you though, you stay true to your roots. From what I can see and going through your catalogue, you didn't really change it up. You kept it chill. You kept the hip hop on every different stage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against like trying out different genres, and you know, like on the new project, there's gonna be like Afro beats, even drill beats, but I'm changing the narrative on how
Drippy's
we
drill.
do a drill beat. This is it. Drippy's a drill beat, basically. It doesn't mean you have to be doing madness on there. You just got to change the frequency a little bit and adjust it.
Yeah, match the energy.
Yeah,
That's the truth of it.
yeah.
You're a sly dog, you are as well. I'll give you that one. You opened up for a couple big artists in a couple last 5 years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ghostface Killer,
Ghostface Killer. That was the more recent one.
Mobb Deep was
Mobb
before,
Deep
yeah?
was in 2015.
Where was that?
That was in Brighton, Concord O2. Yeah.
Okay.
That.
How'd that come about?
Do you know what? The amount of time, effort, money I've spent listening to those artists there, Prodigy and Havoc, yeah, I feel like I manifested it, if I'm honest. Honestly, when I was young, yeah, listening to their music, I used to think to myself, yeah, I would love to do a tune with those guys. I'd love to perform with them, open up, do all this kind of stuff. But I always had the belief that it would happen. But then obviously when you match your numbers and your notoriety with how the industry views it with your artistry, it doesn't always match up. People don't care about the art like that. So a lot of people don't think they can reach these things, but you can though. You just got to keep believing in it and keep pushing it. And eventually someone out there is going to see what you do and like it. Now, luckily for me, it was quite fortunate. I was working with an agent at the time that I knew. We don't talk anymore because he's like one of the people I was talking about earlier that sometimes they mess up because they try to get too much before we've worked hard enough. But at the time, he knew somebody who really loved hip-hop and listened to my stuff and wanted me to be on that bill. And luckily, before that relationship deteriorated, I managed to get in contact with this guy. He works for a company called A23. Nihar, shout out Nihar. He's a real guy, one of my Asian brothers, and yeah, he showed me to the right people, and they loved what I did, and they just took a chance.
Big up.
This is it, you know. And before I know it, I'm standing backstage, and I come out the locker room, and I see Prodigy standing there smoking a cigarette. And I was like,
you think you're dreaming? And
I had a little fan moment though. I did.
You would though, innit? It's like it's here now, innit?
This is P, man. What we talking about? This is P. So I just went over there and told him, you know, that I messed with his music and that he was an inspiration and whatnot. And for years, and you know, we spudded each other, and that was live. And they managed to catch part of when I was opening up, because a lot of these American artists, they don't really care about the UK artists that.
Damn.
But you know, they bigged me up for my performance and whatnot, and that was dope.
Jesus. So, which did you prefer?
I'm gonna say I preferred the Ghost one, because Ghostface is literally in my top 3 rappers of all time, easily.
You saw footage of that?
Easily.
Crazy footage.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That was mad. Like, literally the same guy, because of the way I killed the first one. And it's not easy to be an artist that is not so widely viewed by so many people, and to go on stage and please a crowd of people that don't even know who the hell you are.
Open up as well.
This is it. And I was the only person to open up that night.
like that.
Yeah.
And you know they're waiting for my man.
This is it. So they could easily booed me.
Yeah, like come on,
who's
next.
this guy Leon Flames think he is coming to Brighton to open up for Mobb Deep? I don't know you. But they embraced me though, and I think like when you have certain intervals in from spitting, and then you're chatting and you told them after 3 say fuck the government, and then the whole building saying fuck the government, then you know they're with you at this point, and they overstand you're a rebel. But also another reason why I think I was able to do that was because my music can be played with their music though.
The artistry matches.
You know, with the grime scene and the drill scene and all these other scenes, you're not going to get artists that can go and spit next to Wu-Tang really.
That's
unless you go and delve into older UK artists.
The
ones that was actually spitting.
There was an old school song with American artists. Do you know Memphis Bleak? Memphis Bleak? He had one with a UK guy called Day by Day. I don't know if you remember that. It was on Channel U.
I don't think I know it.
That's the first time I heard American rappers crossing with UK rappers.
Yeah.
And that was like, I think I was like 13, 2000.
Yeah.
Give away my age.
Don't worry, man. Most people ain't good at maths.
I had to think for a sec myself, but yeah.
Okay.
So bruv, that's inspirational. Bro.
Surely that gave you like another 5 years motivation.
Oh,
there,
yeah,
like,
I mean-
topped up real quick.
With the Ghost one, like
The LP come out, right?
him and Trife, they caught the end of my, well, not the end, sorry. They watched the performance like backstage, and when I was upstairs now, I come out the locker room again, and I see Trife and Ghostface walking up the stairs. And you know, Ghost is just big, like,
Yeah.
I was like, right, that's Tony Stark's, like.
He's really there.
So I just, I kept it calm. I was just like, told him, you know, how much I messed with his music again, and again, he's an inspiration. But he was more on telling me how much he loved my performance, and so from that, I spoke to Trife, and he wanted to do a track with me. So that song's actually going to be on the next installment. So each project, I try and put one American artist on there that I mess with.
Yeah.
And then have my UK features and whatnot, mainly, if you know what I mean, because it's all about us at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We gotta be building our own platforms now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No longer can we be building up other people's platforms to then be shutting out conscious music when it's time to play it.
Yep. Yep. We're talking about this.
You know how much times I've sent my songs to certain people.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like my video, the one I sent that to GRM, they didn't want it.
Oh, so you took it?
Link Up took it. I sent it to them at the same time, and one of them came back and said, "Yeah."
But GRM was more popping at that time, innit?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're living all bougie now, innit?
My thing is, it's how can I be seeing, and not on a hater tip, but how can I be seeing things that do not even match up to that? And you're just playing any old that's just rapping about rubbish.
Yeah.
And the production isn't even on the same from the same ilk. I have to use words like that.
That's why, innit?
They are under the thumb, and they shut out the conscious guys unless you're an established conscious guy from before, where they know they're gonna get views from you.
Like who? Like George the Poet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So this is what I don't like, you know. So now it's about building up my own channel. So I've been removing a lot of things so that when I focus more on my own channel now, I can then re-upload them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if I had locks or not. Then at the time, I'm just showing people what's now, and then I'll advertise things and get that popping in that way. So we're just renovating and cleaning up house.
See, it goes back to that genre-less type of music. Like,
Yeah.
what category do we go into?
This is
and
the
then you just
thing.
end up being isolated.
We can't be dictated to.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
you're trying to tell us this is black music.
You know, full stop.
This is black music.
I like that. That just might be the time.
Yeah. All that, it's that's what I'm saying.
Why
like
not, bro?
from when you come and you change it to urban music, you've taken control away from us. You're taking all the powers away from us once you do that, because now it just opens the door for anybody just to tell you and dictates you what's going on with black music.
And what is urban? Who made the word urban? And who put
Exactly.
that whole terminology
That was
together?
to include others.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see what's going on now. Since H, and it's probably been before him.
Yeah.
I've seen
Why-
the rise
why
of a
washing the
certain
thing?
type of artists who are
Yeah.
getting pushed to the front.
What, they're
Now it's
whitewashing
gone-
the thing.
It's gone from the males now,
Yeah.
females, white females.
Yeah.
Like, music is music, but when the spotlight is just getting put on one type of way.
But that's why I say it's our fault,
political.
though.
Of
Ultimately, because we're allowing other people to dictate to us
Yeah.
what's going on. We give the Charlie Sloths and these people the power to do
Yeah.
what they're doing, and then they get to a certain level, and then they're only playing certain types of
And they
artists on
vulture
there.
it, yeah.
But it's not really us. It's
Why?
Because it's the grain, innit?
Mhm.
The grain's deciding it, and the youths.
But we have to
are turning it
sometimes
over.
take accountability, though. I feel, because I think until we take accountability, we might always pitter patter around it.
You're right. So I meant to say it's not us, because I don't tune into none of their music.
Yeah,
So it's not me.
yeah.
Do you guys
But
say?
I know.
It's
what
still
you
getting
mean.
pushed.
Yeah,
Do you know what the problem is, right?
but look
So-
at the country. Look at the
That's what I'm trying to
demographic.
say, but
Yeah.
that, you can even see in culture, like obviously, I've got no problem with them being white doing the music,
Right.
but it's like what they're saying, the messages. It's like is that what you're pushing through? That it's culture appropriation. Is that what it's called?
100%.
And now, like, you've got RD and he's rapping about Nigerian girls and this, that. Is that? Are you just following the pattern from
RD?
RD, the guy
from Brighton
with Rush Millions and
RD.
ARD, or whatever his name is. Yeah,
from Brighton.
And it's like you're playing on people's interests and all the African girl and all of that. Like you literally just.
But that's
riding
what I'm
the
saying,
wave.
though. It's like remember, we're the biggest consumers as black people. Yeah, and we have the biggest following on social media.
Yeah.
But we're the ones losing on there. So what I do is with singles, I experiment with singles. That's why you hear songs like Black Girl and Left Me Burning and stuff where I'm experimenting. I'm like
Top Boy as well, isn't it? Drop.
And Top Boy as well.
When did that drop? This week? Last week?
Yeah, the 27th Friday.
Last week, yeah.
Which is actually more like a grime sounding kind of thing. But I'm just showing people I can do it all at the same time, and I do tap into different genres.
You should.
If I like it. Do you know what I mean? If it suits me as a person.
100.
You know, and we're just going to give them everything. But the reason why I experiment with the singles is because when you hear the project, it's going to be real music.
That's dope.
There's a lot of boom bap on there, a lot of soulful hard beats.
What do you do in a day? What's your day job?
Right, so I'm actually a firefighter as well.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
With those arms, saving everyone, innit?
These superhero and that.
These arms are 3 times smaller than they were.
Dreads come out.
It was said 3 times smaller than they were.
Yeah, I've slimmed down a lot
Monster.
recently. Yeah, I had to. It was a lot to carry around.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I slimmed down a bit so I can be a bit quicker.
Yeah, you're a firefighter.
Yeah. I've been a firefighter since 2009.
Damn. Real, I rate that.
Not all heroes wear capes, eh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He
Sometimes-
let the dreads go.
Sometimes they wear locks.
Yeah. I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Fireman Flames in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I can only imagine what you've been through. You know, every job's got that hard day at work. What would be a hard day at work for you?
Answer. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, what would be a hard... I mean, you'd seem running
So-
into a fire, but...
For me,
Yeah.
having a profession like that is different because you don't know what you're going to every day when you wake up in the morning. You literally have to go with the right mentality and just know that you've got to do your best when things come up. Your day could either end with you not having a job at all and you're kind of just doing community stuff and a lot of training, or you could end up at a massive fire where you don't even know if you're coming home.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's one of those.
Speaking of massive fires, bro.
That's why I haven't got words to waste.
Nah, for
You
real.
just don't know, innit?
Nah, for real.
Jeez.
Massive fires. Glenfell.
Yeah, so the Grenfell fire.
You was there, right?
I was there. I was definitely there.
Well, how long did it take for you to arrive at the scene, and what was your first vision?
So I got there kind of early on, maybe an hour after it started. I think it was. I mean, first things first. I like to, send condolences to the people that actually lost their lives.
Yeah, rest in powers.
You know what I mean? Because it's one of those ones I touch on it, but I'm be careful with what I say, for a reason of to not offend those who had loved ones in there and whatnot, because to make them relive things. But what I will say is that it was the biggest job I ever been to. There are a lot of grey areas there.
Okay.
And I think you all know what I mean when I say that. But hopefully, the right people get what they should get for those occurrences occurring.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So what I can say is that kind of cladding that was on that building shouldn't have been on there.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have.
Was it the man that started the fire from his fridge? Is that what the story is?
I'm saying allegedly, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Grey areas, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of grey areas there, but I will say it was the hardest job I'd ever been at.
Did you go into the building after you put the fire out?
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, but to be honest with you, the fire went on the whole time. I went in the building while it was fully on fire. Do you know what I mean? So you're already going in there and you're thinking about your own family and your children and stuff, but then at the same time, you have to you have a duty of care to people. Do you know what I mean? And that you have to fulfill. And ultimately, that's what makes you do what you do.
That makes me sad, even driving past it.
Oh, yeah.
But you know one thing that confirmed for me, though, from that fire? 9/11 was an inside job. Confirmed. If that building is still there after that fire happened, don't tell me the Twin Towers fell like that. Are you mad?
Oh, this is the thing, my brother. Like, you know, and it really did shake up the community. I think if I wasn't directly involved in it, I think the way that I am as a person, I reckon I would have even more to say about that. Do you see what I mean? Like the things I could tell you, as opposed to what I can tell you.
Yeah.
But I think we're all a bit intelligent enough here to know that there was a lot of grey areas there. Yeah. And hopefully those people get justice, the justice that they deserve. You know.
You gotta be a bit aggressive out here, you know, to get what you want, you know, because they'll just let you sit on the fence for a long time if you're not really at their doorstep.
Yeah.
And I've realised that's the only way to get things done. You being quiet and patient, waiting, you're gonna get overlooked, mate. Yeah. You have to make noise, and you clock the people that complain the most, get everything done for them.
Yeah.
So hit them, bruv.
This is it.
So all the Glenfell people, hit them.
Yeah.
Every day, man.
Trust me, like. And they do, you know, like each year they have these marches and things, but there's a lot going on though, and there's still investigations and whatnot. So the things I spoke on are actual factual things that are out there in the public. Do you know what I mean? But anything that's not like that, kind of have to just let it do what it does. But just know that the truth always comes to light, and it will.
Okay. Would you call yourself activist?
I would say so. Activist is like a campaigner for. You know, standing up for certain things. So in that sense, yeah, I guess so. Like, when it's time to show up, I'm showing up. I got to be really badly injured to not show up. Do you know what I mean? Or I'm saving the community at work. Otherwise, I'm showing up to whatever event it is. But I would say I'm more of a visionary. I'm more of a visionary than an activist. I've got ideas. I implement them, try to help people as much as I can, and try to be there for the community. So, for instance, like, where I went through a custody battle for my son and gained custody of him after like a years long battle.
Dope.
Do you know what I mean? And a lot of fathers don't get to make it to that stage. Now, when friends of mine or people that are brought to my attention are going through those things, I make it my duty to want to go and assist them if I can. Whether that's with papers or
because you've been there, right?
Advice. I've been there.
Yeah, man, first time.
You know, and you know, some people that's close to me, like some of my good peoples, like they going through that themselves, and it's my duty to be there for them to do that, because I hate to see the fathers suffering when they shouldn't be.
No, you're a good guy, man. You're a good guy.
I'm trying, bro.
Big respect to you, bro. Big respect to you, my bro. I wish there could be longer time, and I hate to be that guy to have to say it, but bro, we ran out of time, man.
Damn.
But it's been a brilliant interview, getting to know you a little bit, Leon Flames. We definitely would like to invite you down in the future for one of our Let's Build chats that we're gonna start a new segment.
Anytime you put the call in, I'm there.
My brother, respect, man. Thank you,
and thank you for having me, because we need more people in the community like yourselves that take their time out and put their effort in to go and put on for other people as well as themselves. Like, we need that.
Thank you.
You know, what you're creating is important for the people.
Thank you.
Because there's a lot of voices that wouldn't be heard if you weren't doing it.
Respect, man.
Yeah, but we just do it because we love it.
Yeah,
that's who we are.
And we're looking for places where everyone is, and we can't see where we are.
This is
the righteous anyway.
A lot of people say that they're doing what you guys are doing, but they're not doing it though.
Yeah. I don't think we're doing enough.
No.
I mean, I got to shout out my guy DJ Renzi. He was the DJ for me at the Ghostface show. Okay. But anytime I'm dropping anything, he plays my music because he likes it, not just because he knows me.
What's his name?
What I mean?
DJ
Renzi.
Big up DJ Renzi.
Yeah, he DJs over at Flex FM and that.
My bro, we're not going to leave you empty-handed. We got you something today.
I respect, brother.
Yes, man. Would you mind passing him the top, please? It's a Powers top, my bro. That's a thank you for coming down today.
No, respect, King. I'm gonna wear this for sure with power,
Yeah,
pride.
It's your size as well, G. Two X's.
You got big room in the shoulders, yeah. Yeah, man. This is brilliant, guys. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, my brother.
Yes.
And people, thank you, everyone. And that was Leon Flames.
Shout all the people out there. Love you all, man.
Big up, man. Leon Flames, you want to drop your Instagram quickly, please?
Instagram is Leon Flames Music with a K.
Yep.
Anything else, Leon Flames, you'll find me because there's only one.
Hey, big up Flames, man. Hey, I'm mad. Myself 100 eyes with my Triller talent man Theo with the Triller Big Leon Flames. Are you crazy? And we're out.
Powers.